We talked a little bit about knowing your why,
Yeah.
but there's this whole other aspect of knowing what triggers you.
Yes.
Can we talk a little bit about triggers and why, how
Yeah,
those relate to your why too?
absolutely. I mean, in my mind, um, triggers is anything, I think about it as the behavior and habit change cycle, right? So there is this thing where you go cue, craving, response, reward. Cue is something that makes you think of drinking. That's a trigger. And I drank 365 nights a year, or would have if I wasn't trying to control it in some way and typically failing. So a cue to drink was literally everything, right? It was obviously Friday night. I deserve a reward at the end of the week. Going out to dinner, always need a glass or a bottle of wine, right? Like they bring you the wine, the drinks menu first. Yes, those clear triggers, cue to drink, going on vacation, anything like that, going out on a date. But like cues to drink were also going to the grocery store. They were also 5 p.m. They were also thinking about what to cook for dinner. They were also mommy play dates. They were having an extra hour at lunch. Like none of this was like, you know, quote unquote problematic drinking. You see people do this all the time. You go out to a work lunch. They were going to the bar with coworkers at the airport. So cues to drink everything. And so everything is to some extent a trigger. And it's good to write them down. Obviously, clear triggers are hungry, angry, lonely, tired, right? Halt. Cues to drink, triggers to drink are overwhelm and boredom and celebrations and social anxiety, all those things. But I think like when you're starting to not drink, um, there are a couple different things. Drinking is our reward, right? Cue, craving, response, reward. So in the beginning, you need to plan a reward for every day because the worst thing you can do when you're stopping drinking is think, this is all too hard. I work so hard. I have nothing in my life. All my favorite things have been taken away. So you want to substitute those rewards with something that is wonderful, something you normally don't think you have time for. So I think it's important. A cue to drink, a trigger to drink is a long day. So what are you going to do to break up that day for a sober treat? What are you going to do on Friday night? So I used to plan them in advance. And on Friday, I would maybe get a pedicure. I'd leave work at 4:30 instead of 5:30. Get a pedicure, pick out sushi, takeout, and watch a movie that I wanted. Another sober treat was joining a gym with childcare. So on Saturdays, I could go there and not try to kill myself to lose weight. I would sit in the hot tub. I would sit in the steam room. I would get a protein packed smoothie afterwards with my kids. They were thrilled. I would go to the garden store and wander around. So you need to substitute your reward of alcohol every day with your reward of something else. And so also obviously hunger is a big trigger. That's the number one. The dropping of your blood sugar is no joke. So I would pack snacks. My coach told me to do this with protein that I would bring to school, I mean to work, and have it at 4:30. Eat before you're hungry. Don't go into the witching hour and picking up kids and driving past the grocery store and all that stuff. Starving. So when my clients tell me, oh my God, I want to drink, first question I always ask them is, are you hungry? Have you eaten? A lot of times that plus a different beverage can help a lot. The second question I ask them is why. And we are really terrible at identifying the emotions of why we want to check out, why we want to drink. We're just like, it's just our easy button, like any emotion drink, right? And so sometimes it's you're overwhelmed, sometimes it's you're bored, sometimes you're feeling resentful that you do everything for everyone else and no one does something for you. Sometimes you're like, this is my only night with my girlfriends. And so you can solve for any one of those, right? If